Good morning and welcome to Emerald Cottage. My name is Jill and I love all things yarn and craft and crochet. Today is the 1st of April, no joke. Can you believe it's April already? So I think it's been 2 weeks since I last podcasted. I haven't made a great deal of progress, but I thought I'd catch you up on what I've been doing anyway. I've got no finished objects and lots of whips, but that's fine. So let's just get straight into it, shall we? So my first whip is my geometric shawl. This is a pattern by Miho Crochet, whose name is Johanna Lindhall, I think, or Lindahl. Johanna. So this is it here. I'll show it to you first. So it's using a sheepy's whirl. So as you can see, it goes from dark purple at the bottom through medium purple through to light pink. And then the yarn goes through to a dark pink. I'm about halfway through the whirl, I think, not quite halfway through the whirl. And it's, it's sort of alternating with this grey. It's called mosaic crochet. And you kind of, if you can just see just there, where these two spike stitches are, you work over several rows below to give this kind of tapestry effect. Or mosaic effect. So I'm using a sheepy's whirl in Turkish Delight, it's called, which goes through this beautiful deep red colour. I just love it, I think it's gorgeous. And then the grey is this sheepy's whirlette, which is called Frosted. And I've bought a second skein of this. I can't work out if they're slightly different shades. I think they probably are, but it'll be fine. Because it's being alternated with this other yarn, it'll be fine. It's quite an easy pattern. I find it straightforward enough. But what I am finding is the sections are getting longer. So part one was... let me see. Yeah, part one was this section here up to here. Part two is this section up to here. Part three, as you can see, the rows are getting longer, so it's taking more time to do each section, which I don't like. I don't like that about it, because it means that you're making less and less progress as time goes on. I much prefer things that start off big and get small. So at the end of my Sophie shawl that I'll show you in a minute is starting off big and getting finishing small. This will finish big, I believe, so got to just keep going with it, keep chipping away. It's taken me ages because it's a 200 gram whirl and two 100 gram whirlettes, so it's 400 grams in total, so 4 skeins of yarn really it is, which I think is quite a lot, and it's taken me ages to get through it. But I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying the pattern, seeing it come together. And I'm enjoying the gradient of the yarn. I don't like this section in the middle, although it doesn't look so bad on camera actually, but this section in the middle where it goes from purple to pink, I'm not wild about the purple to pink transition, but I love the pink that's coming through now. I think it's gorgeous, and it's going pretty well. I'm doing it from Stash, so the Turkish Delight I had in Stash, the Frosted whirlette I had in Stash. The pattern calls for 2 whirlettes, so I did have to buy another whirlette. So that broke my yarn ban slightly, but my yarn ban rules were, so the rules of the yarn ban for 2026 were, I was allowed to buy yarn if it was a finished project, so that was the finished project. I was allowed to buy yarn if I was making something to sell, and I think those were my only 2 rules. Other than that, total yarn ban. So it's not going very well, but we'll come on to that in incoming shortly when I show you what I've acquired in the last few weeks. Right, so that's my geometric shawl. Then I've got my Sophie shawl. This is my current knitting project, which is coming along really well. Now, I typically only work on this in my knitting group on a Monday night, for no reason other than I kind of forget that it's there in between, because I always forget that I can knit. But look at this, look at it. Oh, it's beautiful. I love it. I think it's perfection. Well, it's not perfection, but I think it is. So I've made a couple of mistakes. You can see there where the yarn's joined in, the new yarn. Where is the most obvious? Oh yeah, just, can you see just there? I've accidentally purled a stitch. You can see that. Yeah, I've accidentally purled a stitch rather than knitting stitch. That's my only kind of big mistake, I think. Something slightly wonky going on with the edge there. I don't know quite what happened there, but that'll be fine. You won't notice it once I'm wearing it. But yeah, it's just coming along really well. I'm really enjoying it. It's going to be a nice sort of double wraparound length, which will be really cozy. So yeah, loving this. So that's my knitting project, and that's the Sophie shawl by Petite Knit, which is all over the internet at the minute, so I'm sure you've heard of it. If not, have you been living under a rock? Where have you been? Doing that on a 3.5mm hook, not hook, that's crochet, needle, 3.5mm needle, needles. What do you say for knitting needles? Knitting needles, yes, needles. Right, now my next 3 whips, actually, no, yes I will, because my other crochet whips haven't changed since I last showed you them. So to recap very quickly, we have got my, oh no, what was this pattern called? Oh God, what was this pattern called? In a Whirl scarf for my mum, which is this one. And I've almost finished the yarn that I've got. So it's very easy to repeat. Beautiful pattern that gives us a nice sort of lacy shell effect. Love the yarn. The yarn is Mycelium by Dystopic Yarns. There's a bit of a story there. So I about to run out of yarn. So I ordered a new ball before I ran out of yarn. A new skein. And that was on the 2nd of March. It hasn't arrived yet, and that's a whole month later. So I emailed the guy twice and have had no response. And then I went on his website, not his website, his Instagram, and his latest post was back in February. And it was basically a health-related post. So I gather that he's not very well at the moment, which obviously I sympathise with. That's, really sorry for him that that's happened. And I hope he gets well soon. However, I do wish he hadn't continued to sell from his website. So he should have put his prices up ridiculously, or put his postage up, or shut down his website or something. Because now I'm in a position where I've spent £23, made some £23, but still £23 or whatever it was, on a skein of yarn that I haven't received, and there's no sign of when I will receive it either. So that's quite annoying. So I can't finish that. So that's Mum's In a Whirl scarf. I've then got my book blanket, which you saw last time, which is this little beauty here. I haven't updated it since then, so there's no update on that, but these are my 10 or 11 books so far. I love the colours, it's just so colourful. It's a really mishmashy, just crazy coloured project. So that's my book blanket. I think I've got 2 books to add to it, so I need to do that at some point. And the book I'm reading at the moment, just to dive into that, is Anxious People by Fredrik Backman. And I'm struggling with it, if I'm honest. I'm 20% of the way through, and it's taken me about 2 weeks because I'm just not loving it. But it was my Book Blast book for March. Book Blast, if I haven't explained before, is a thing where on one of the book clubs I'm on Facebook, I think it's the Claire Mackintosh Book Club, they run this thing called Book Blast. So what you do is you pick your books at the start of the year. You pick 12 books, say, or 24 books. I picked 24. I picked 12 Kindle and 12 paperback. You number them 1 to 12 or 1 to 24. And then at the beginning of each month on the book club, they give you 2 numbers, and you read the books that are numbered those numbers. So each month I'm picking 1 paperback and 1 Kindle book to read, basically to make a dent in my to be read pile, because I've got a lot of books, a bit like yarn, a bit like everything else, got a lot. So yeah, the Anxious People Fredrik Backman book was my Book Blast Kindle book for March. So I'm not doing very well. I haven't read my paperback book either yet, and obviously I've got April's ones to do, so I need to crack on and get that read. I am going to Northern Ireland on Saturday to see my mum. And I typically do a lot of reading on my way. I read in the plane and read in the airport, so I should get a bit of it done then. And also I'm going to the hairdresser this afternoon and I'll take my Kindle then, so I should get a bit of it read. So I'm hopeful that I'll finish it. And I'm also hopeful it'll get better. I'm not keen on the style of writing, but I'm hoping the story will kind of carry it along a bit, so we'll see what happens with that. So that's my book blanket. I've then got some gloves to show you. So I've got a friend who her husband is, so I'm really fidgety. Her husband is trustee for a bank, I think it is. Oh, not a bank, museum, trustee for a museum. And they sell things in the museum shop. And she found this pattern for some ammonite gloves, which she wanted making to sell in the museum shop. And I said I would make them for her. And I've got a pair in here. So I've got one in here. It looks like this. So you can see it's got this ammonite shell in it, which is really sweet. So if I put it on, I might have shown you these ages ago, I can't remember. It's just really sweet little glove with this ammonite shell. I've got, I thought I had a pair. Oh, there it is. I did have a bit of a pair. So I made one pair in a trial, lot of wool. They're slightly wonky. You can see there's quite a big gap between the top of the ammonite and the top of the glove, and there it's a much smaller gap. But they're cute, and they've got little handmade with love buttons on them. You can see that. So anyway, that was my trial pair, which worked out quite well. And then she had this Sardar jewel spun yarn, which she wanted them making in. So I've made quite a few now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So I've made, that's not bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've made 3 pairs. I need to do the actual ammonite shells for those. And I keep forgetting that this is a project, and she keeps messaging me saying, "How are the gloves?" I'm like, oh god, I forgot again. So yeah, I need to crack on with those at some point. So that's another whip. Then we've got, what's this one down here? Oh, we've done that one already. Those are basically the basic ones that I wanted to show you. I've then got some sewing projects to show you. So I've been on 3 sewing classes in the last month, 2 months. So back in January, I went on a sewing class to make a quilted pouch, which is going to look like this. So this is the first lot of quilting I've ever done. So it's got like this batting stuff in between. And it's the first kind of patchworky quilting I've done as well. So these are flying geese, if you didn't know. Oh, by the way, do you like my new glasses? Look, they match, don't they? They match the green of that. I'm a bit worried they're a bit National Healthy, if you know what that means. But I quite like them. I'm getting used to them. Anyway, sorry, slight tangent there. Yeah, so this bag will have a bottom like that, and then 2 sides to it, and then a zip that goes right up and over. So I've got to make the other side and put the zip in. And it was on a class that I did. So it's in the next town along Bracknell, and it's Bracknell Sewing Bees, and it's run by 2 ladies. And they do a Tuesday night class, which I don't go to. And then once a month, they do a whole day affair where you go along and make a project. And I've been to that a couple of times. So this was the first one, this quilted bag. And that was back in January, like I say, but I just haven't got my sewing machine out. Story about my sewing machine, I'll tell you in a minute. So yeah, so that's my first sewing whip. Isn't it nice though? I'm really pleased with it. I think the colour choices were quite good. I quite like the fact that these are quite dark against the light background, and they've got quite small patterns, so you can see lots of the pattern on it. So not too bad a choice of fabric, I don't think. Yes, that's my quilted pouch. It's all really squishy. Then last week, a week before, I went on the March monthly class, and we did these applique cushions. So this is my cushion so far. Look, sausage dog. So you can see lots of different patchworky bits. It's quite busy. What I'm planning to do is get probably a dark purple thread, and I need to zigzag around all the different panels of material. Oh, it's really hard to do with one hand. So like that blue square there is a piece, so it's got zigzag all around that. Got to zigzag all, it might be black actually. What do you think? It's got to be a contrast so it shows up, because it just looks like a rather messy noise of fabric at the minute. Oops, it's a bit headless. I made lots of mistakes in this. So the first thing I did was we had to draw our picture onto a piece of tracing paper with heat transferable pen, and then you put that ink side down onto your fabric and ironed it, so the heat of the iron transferred the pen design onto the thing. Well, I accidentally did that with Bondaweb and stuck the Bondaweb to the cushion, so that piece of material was no good. I then sort of thought, well, I'll just flip it over and use the other side, and that can be the inside. I then, what did I do? What did I do? Oh yes, I drew it on the tracing paper, ironed it on, cut out my pieces, then realised that all my pieces were cut in the mirror image of what I needed them to be. So I didn't have enough pieces left to cut them all out in the right way round. Honestly, so I had to ditch that piece of cushion fabric altogether and start a whole new piece. So I've got a piece that's just rubbish now, and then I managed to do this piece the correct way around, but it was a real trying to get this the right way around, going right. So if you trace it and then turn it over, then you iron it, it goes that way, and then if you cut it out this way, then you turn it over and Bondaweb it onto your fabric, and then that goes that way, and then turn it the other way. Oh my god, couldn't get my head around it at all. The ladies that were helping couldn't get their heads around it either, which is why I made so many mistakes with it. But anyway, it's done now. So yeah, really pleased with that. So I've just got to outline the pieces of the applique. I'm thinking black actually. I was thinking bright pink, but I think that'll get lost in the purple, so I think black, and it'll tie together with the black nose. Don't you like his eye? I think his eye's quite good. I'm quite pleased with that. So that's my applique cushion. And then pièce de résistance is my sewn top that I've been making, which is this one here. So I'll just put it on for you and quickly model it. So this is a class that I've been going to on a Thursday afternoon at a local charity, and they run sewing workshops, and it was a 4-weekly class. Look at this, look. So I've got to join it down the front still, and I've got to hem it, and I've got to hem the sleeves, but look at the sleeves, look how nicely they're in. I'm so pleased with them, just lovely. They really sit really well, really chuffed. And it's a nice size, and the darts are quite good, and yeah, it's all looking quite pleased with that. So it was a Tilly in the Buttons pattern, which I'll just grab and show you really quickly. So the brief was to pick a pattern for a simple top or a simple pair of trousers like pajama bottoms that was suitable for a beginner. So I picked this one, Tilly in the Buttons Nell, and it says on it, sewing pattern for confident beginners. I think it cost about £20, which I was like, oh my god, that's quite expensive. And the fabric was about £25, so you definitely wouldn't be making your own clothes to save money. Having said that, I can use the pattern multiple times, and I will be, because it's turned out really well. And I made this one here, although I made that's got like puffy sleeves, and I made the regular sleeves with mine. So you can mix and match. On the back it shows you all the different configurations you can make. So you can make this, I think it's called a peplum skirt. Yeah, peplum blouse with flutter sleeves, or you can make a longer dress or a tunic or a top. And the top that I'm making, as you can see, has got these little faux ties in it, so I've got to make those. So I've still got the hemming to do and the ties and joining at the front, but yeah, I think it's really, really lovely. And it says on it, award-winning, easy to follow sewing patterns. And for a beginner, it was very easy, actually. I was glad that I had the coarse tutor there to hold my hand. But I think I probably could have figured it out on my own. Sorry. it was quite straightforward. So I have bought another Tilly and the Buttons pattern, which I'll just grab. This is for the Samara top, which is even easier sewing pattern for beginners. So it's an absolute beginner's pattern, and it's just for a hip length short sleeve top. I think I'm going to make it longer because I don't think that's tucked in. I think that actually is the length of it, and obviously if you raise your arms up you'll be flashing a little bit midriff, which I don't want to do, so I'll definitely be making it longer, but that's fine. I'm sure I can adjust the pattern to do that. So that's my sewing update. Yeah, so I was just going to tell you a bit about the course that I'm doing. So it's Beginner's Guide to Dressmaking, I think it was called, and it's run at my local charity, which is called the Cowshed. And the Cowshed give out clothing and toiletries and so forth to people who need them. They get referrals from various charities and so on, and they have a massive craft group which I volunteer at, or I have in the past. I'm actually due to start again next week. What they do is they use fabric from donated curtains and duvet covers to make what they call referral bags. I might have told you this before, but anyway, to make referral bags, which they then donate the items to the people in. So it just means that they're getting it in a nice handmade bag rather than a bin bag or a box or a carrier bag. So it just elevates the experience a bit for them and makes them feel a bit more special. So yes, they have the craft room at the Cowshed has about 25 sewing machines, and they have volunteers come in three or 4 days a week to sew the bags. They make Christmas bags for children's Christmas presents. They make bunting and hats and bags, I think, for to sell at craft fairs. So they do lots of things, and it's a really nice venue, very close to me. I can walk to it, which is handy. They are doing a follow-up dressmaking advanced course, but I've decided not to do it because I think I'll be able to manage myself. Plus it's quite expensive and I don't really want to spend the money, to be blunt. So all the money does go to charity, so there is that. But I did pay for my first class, so I've done my bit. So yeah, so that's all my works in progress. Well, not all of them, but it's all the ones I want to talk about to you today. The second thing I want to talk about, and probably the last thing, is incoming. And I went on Monday, so that was the day before yesterday. I went on Monday on a little outing with two of my knitting friends to a craft shop near Portsmouth, which is about an hour and a half away from here. So we went an hour and a half just to go to this craft shop. And it's a craft shop for a charity. Again, it's a charity thing called Rowan's Hospice. So Rowan's Hospice is a hospice in Portsmouth, or near Portsmouth, and they have a charity craft shop, which is basically a charity shop, but it only sells craft stuff, and it's all craft stuff that's been donated. And it was brilliant. So it's a real Aladdin's cave. You go in and it's just got stuff everywhere. So it's got wool, fabric, embroidery floss, patterns, books, magazines, dyes, stamps, papers, beads, buttons, knitting needles, just everything you could think of. And obviously it's all really cheap because it's all second hand. So I did buy a few bits and pieces, which I shall just grab and show you, bear with. Right then, the first thing I bought was this little tiny sewing kit, which I guess probably came free with a magazine at some stage originally. And it's just a little travel sewing kit. Look at that, how cute is that? And I thought that would be perfect to keep in the motorhome. So yeah, that's my little travel sewing kit, £3. Then I bought this material, which I think there's 3 meters of it, so there's plenty to make a top, which is what I'm going to do with it. It's very soft. I wish you could feel it. It's this lovely denim colour, and it's got like a printed glittery rainbow design through it. But I mainly loved the blue of it, and it was a 5 over 3 meters, so I thought that was really good for making a nice cheap top with. It'd be good practice on some cheap fabric. I bought this quilting book. Look at this, absolutely, look how thick it is. So, book of Quilting, Cross Stitch and Needlecraft by Lucinda Ganderton and Dorothy Wood, and it was published in 2006, so it's not too old, but it's just a gorgeous book. It's got all different like techniques sections for different embroidery stitches. It's got lots of projects, so it's making a picture frame. It's got like lots of knitting projects, dyeing projects, tracing and transferring patterns. It's just got everything. Lots of cross stitch patterns. I just thought it was a really good book. The ultimate, it's a Hermes House is the name of the publisher, and it's the ultimate book of quilting, cross stitch and needlecraft, and it was £3, which I thought was very good. The initial price isn't on it, so I don't know what it cost originally. And then bought this knitting magazine because I like this pattern on the front. So knitting magazines were 50p each. So this is the picture of the jumper. So you can see it's got this little kind of eyelet detail, which I think I can do. I think it's just a question of counting. It should be fairly straightforward. So my friend Sheena at Knitting will be able to help me if I get stuck. So, well actually I didn't really help me get stuck. So that was that magazine. I bought this little booklet of cross stitch alphabets. So I thought it was quite nice. So it's got, let's have a look, some borders to do. And then it's got these floral alphabet letters. And some more there as well. I thought they were quite pretty. That was only £1 for that. I bought another knitting magazine, this one here. So again, this was 50p. And I bought it because, let me see if I can find it. There was a nice pattern. Well, actually, I thought that was nice, but way too complicated for me. That's beautiful, look at that. But yeah, that's too complicated for me. I'm sure I could do it, but I'd have to concentrate too hard. And I wouldn't be able to do anything else at the same time. So I just, no, it's not be for me. Oh yes, this one. Purple again. So, but it's very plain apart from this detail on the edge, which is kind of like, not quite honeycomb, but brick effect. And I thought I could probably manage that. Matches my nails look. I thought I could probably manage that. Again, I might need a bit of help from my knitting friends, but I think it'll be a fairly simple one to do. So I might do this one first, actually. Then I bought this Lynette Anderson book, because I love Lynette Anderson stuff. It's all Christmassy ideas, and it's got lots of this, like, it's not Scandi style, is it? There's a name for it. Is it primitive? But yes, lots of lovely pictures. Really nice book. Sorry, I'm just getting carried away looking at it. It's just lovely designs. I just really love it. So look at these star tree decorations. Look at these, really lovely. So just, yeah, really nice. So I look forward to making things like that at Christmas time. And then I bought this book here called Knit Your Heart Out, which is over 30 ways to knit a heart for someone special. And it was £2. And it's by Bente Prestrodrovic. I don't know if that's a girl or a boy. Don't suppose it matters really, but anyway, that's, oh, it's got a bit of food stuck to it. So it's got lots of hearts, obviously, in it. But I thought it'd be really handy because it's got some, let's find the first picture of it. It's got some colour work hearts. Look at all those green hearts, aren't they lovely? Just really fun. So yeah, I thought it'd be quite good for practicing a bit of colour work. There, that's the picture I wanted to show you. Look at the colour work on that. So it's quite simple, but a small piece so it'll work up quickly. So I thought that'd be really good practice. And it's just got, like, there's some Christmas ones. And got some ones with embellishments on them. I've just got loads. So yeah, I thought it was a really nice book. And again, that was £2, so bargain. I could have gone mad in that shop. There was so much I could have bought. It was great. Then I did break my yarn ban, like properly broke it this time. So my first breaking of the yarn ban I showed you last time was this pink yarn that I got in the charity shop in Belfast, and it was 50p each ball. I spotted this one here in Rowan's craft shop, which is the exact same, only different colour. It's just got a generic piece of card around it for a price tag, hasn't got the original label. This was £1, so slightly more expensive, but I thought those would pair together really nicely for some kind of stripy coil. So that was those ones. I then bought this, sorry for the rustling, this is Hayfield Spirit double knitting in this lovely orange and purple colours. In fact, let's just open it and get it out. Let's free it from its bag. Yes, Hayfield Spirit. It's lovely, isn't it? Don't know what I'm going to make of it. Shouldn't buy things unless I've got a project in mind, but whoever stuck to that rule. So yeah, 2 balls of this, shade number 405, and it's a DK, what's it made of? 100%, not 100%, can't even read, 80% acrylic, 20% wool, so it's got a wool content to it. So yeah, really lovely. And then the second lot of yarn I bought, or the third lot I suppose, is this one. Which is this King Cole Homespun Prism. It's lovely, look at these colours. Oh, it stinks of charity shop. It's going to have to be aired for a while. It's going to be fusty. But yeah, lovely and soft. And this yarn is 22% fine merino, 22%, oh my god, it's got a really complicated content. 22% fine merino superwash, 22% alpaca, 23% polyamide, 23% acrylic, and 10% viscose. Wow, that's a complicated one, isn't it? And it's kind of 2 and a bit balls. I thought that was a lovely colour. My friend picked this up and she then decided she wasn't going to buy it, and I was like, oh, out of that. And then the last thing I bought was a sewing pattern for this top, which is a tunic, a dress and tunic. So I thought that would be quite nice and hopefully straightforward to make. So I think these kind of patterns, which are the more traditional ones, look a bit like this, come in this kind of flatter envelope. And let me just open it up. Where are my scissors? I think they come more with like tracing paper, where Tilly and the buttons come with quite thick paper. Yeah, they come with tracing paper, you can see. I think these ones are slightly less intuitive, but I'm hoping, having had my first dressmaking class, that I'll be able to figure it out. So yeah, so that's my sewing pattern. So I think that's all I have to share with you. What else? I think that's about it really. Oh, I might show you this. Did I show you this Kyle's book before? I bought this a while ago and I thought I'd try and make a couple of Kyle's from it because it's got some nice pictures in the back, look. And they'd be quite good for 1 or 2 skeins of yarn. Quite like that one, that sort of drapey looking shawl thing, which is called Cowboy Coil. That really challenges my accent, doesn't it? Sorry, that's the pattern, I shouldn't do that. Cowboy Coil, there we go, that one. So I think I'll try making that with something. And that was a charity shop bargain as well, in the charity shop in Bourton-on-the-Water in the Cotswolds, where we went last summer. I think I have shown you that before, but I've kept that out close to my working desk because there's things I want to make from that. So the other things to show you are what I frogged, which isn't very exciting because what I frogged is now basically wool. So I frogged what was a Sophie shawl. It's now back to this. I frogged what was a pattern with no name that I couldn't find, which is this one here. Frogged that. And I also frogged this one here, which I mentioned I wasn't too sure if I would frog it or not in the last episode. Decided to frog it. It was this pinky brown yarn. Wasn't happy with the pattern at all, so although I've kept the pattern in there, but that's more to remind me not to do that pattern again. So that's my other frogging. So frogging. And my other incoming I need to show you was this beautiful Malabrigo yarn. This was a major fail on the yarn ban because this wasn't even for charity. This is Malabrigo Silky Merino. It is, doesn't say, so, oh, does it say? 51% silk, 49% merino wool, and it is so soft, it's lovely. And look at that purple colour, isn't that gorgeous? Such a deep, rich colour. And I've got 4 beautiful skeins of it. Oh, so nice. That was £6.99 a skein, which was down from £15 or something, because it was on sale in my local yarn shop, and she posted it on Facebook and I decided I would buy it. So that was my big yarn ban fail. So anyway, on that note, I shall bid you farewell. Thank you very much for watching. If you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming back for more. If you're a new viewer, I hope you enjoyed it. You can find me on the socials. On Facebook, I am Emerald Cottage. On Instagram, I am Jill Emerald Cottage. And of course, here on YouTube, I'm Emerald Cottage. And yeah, that's about everything for me. So I hope you all have a fabulous week. And I will speak to you very soon. Bye.